Let's go! This Week in Gaming! This Week in Gaming! Evie's excited, and you should be too, because we have a great lineup for you guys today. We have a lot to talk about, a lot to go over with what happened in the past week. Gaming news starts now. Let's go! Oh, you made that an announcement. That's sick. Alright, so we're going to start off with some wins and fails like we do every week. And this one, our little cryptic tagline, double forehead touch? What does that even mean, double forehead touch? You literally clipped me reacting to my own clip. You're ridiculous. Fail. Negative Zenn does math. Okay, listen. This isn't going in the VODs. They're not going to know that I think 1 + 1 = 3, so we don't need to talk about it. Anyways, Windows gets worse and return of the worst game ever. It's too worse, too furious. I don't know what to call this, but a lot of worse stuff is happening. And I know you're probably wondering, how is one of these a win? You'll see. We're going to start off with our fail first thing. Turns out your PC runs 20% faster on Windows 10. That's insane. So if you upgrade to Windows 11, you lose 20% of your performance. It will be a 20% slower computer because with each iteration of Windows, the bloat gets bloatier. Users have found that many of Windows 11's new features will lower PC performance by nearly a quarter. A big contributing factor appears to be the visualization-based security, or VBS. Interestingly, there's a 20% performance gap with VBS on for both platforms, so 20% performance increase on Windows 10, but if you turn it off, there's only a 9% gap between Windows 10 and Windows 11. Either way, Windows 10 is faster than Windows 11. And 80% faster if you just go to Linux. That's fair. I'm sure the same thing was true with Windows 10. Windows 10 was probably like 20% slower than Windows 8. It gets worse every year. That's why we have to keep upgrading computers to make them faster and faster, because our operating systems are getting slower and slower. I mean, they'll add like 100,000 security features, and it'll make it so your game runs super choppy and bugged. And I need to get an AMD GPU. I'm going to switch soon. I'm just waiting a bit more so Valve can port more games to Linux. Yeah, they're working on that. They have a high incentive to do so because they have the Steam Deck, which is a Linux machine. Security features that are unsecure. Yeah, that's the problem. That's like kind of the double-edged sword of Windows, is like they're doing it for security reasons, and you have to get the newest patch for security reasons, so otherwise you'll be vulnerable. It's like, brother, I know I'm vulnerable. I'm using your platform. I knew I was vulnerable the second I saw the Windows logo. If I wanted to not be vulnerable, I'd buy a Mac. It's always been like that. Since I first started using computers, which, by the way, I have a photo of just that very thing. Allow me to introduce you guys. Let me save this image real quick. Allow me to introduce you guys to me in elementary school. This is the first computer I had ever used, other than like my grandma, who had a very similar machine. Look at this bad boy dinosaur. Hell yeah. Look at that. That's sick, huh? Yeah, this is where the passion started. This very moment right here, this is the newest. This was a new computer at the time, by the way. This is like the year 2000. Like 2001 maybe. Actually, no, I had to have been 5, so this would be like 2002. Yeah, I think this was like 2002, 2003. You don't need games if you make them. That's a good point. Here we go. UNC status activated. Once they publish the recall feature, I'm going to switch to Linux. That PC looks older than I was even... that PC looks older than I was even a thought. What does that mean? But yeah, so I'm sure that if I were to run my current hardware on this operating system right here, this is probably like Windows XP or Vista. No. It was like Windows 2000, right? I think it was... Yeah, it was like Windows 2000. End of support 2010. Yeah, I believe that was probably about it. So this is probably like Windows 2000. If you roll back your computer to Windows 2000, you'll probably get like a 1000% boost. How cool would it be if it turns out there was actually a conspiracy where computer parts were actually insanely faster today than they've ever been? You just don't know it because you're running the newest version of Windows. But if you were to go back, you would actually have like 7, maybe 10 gigahertz on your or on your CPU. The clock speeds are actually double. Your hardware is trying to send signals too fast for the OS. Yeah. So yeah, I've noticed the trend. I've certainly noticed how like each iteration got slower. I remember Windows 7 was the slowest operating system I had ever used in my life. I remember a lot of people were really mad and didn't want to switch. They wanted to stay on like Vista or like whatever was before that. It happens every year. And then Windows eventually, or Microsoft eventually forces you onto the new one. And then everyone's like, I guess we're on here now. We just have to live with it. Happens every time. Like, there's a reason nobody ever wants to upgrade OSs. Also, the fact that Windows 10 is already ending support this year is crazy. Absolute lunacy, might I add. There's a lot of machines in the world with critical infrastructure that run Windows 10, and this is a big problem. And there's upgrade requirements, and I shouldn't say too much about this, but for example, what do you think an ATM machine runs on? Do you think it has its own home-built software, its own home-built OS that is specially tuned for transferring money? You'd be fucking wrong. It's running Windows 10. They're all running Windows 10. And not all ATMs, in fact, pretty much no ATMs are Windows 11 ready. So there's an actual massive problem in the country. I wouldn't be surprised if Windows 10 support got extended because of the fact that it's probably going to take down like most of our critical infrastructure and like cripple the country. So my nose is so itchy. I'm sorry. I'm not like picking my nose or anything. It's just incredibly itchy. So yeah, I'm a little concerned about that, and you should be too. You really should be. They had support for Windows 2000 until 2010. And Windows 10 was gone in a blink of an eye. When did we switch to Windows 10? Like, was it 2016? Windows 10. Okay, it was 10 years. Okay, so it was 2015 to 2025. So I guess it's been 10 years. I guess that's the same amount of time. Still awful. Also, the whole point of Windows 10, I believe, like, they said that it was like the final evolution of the OS. Like, they were like, it's just gonna be Windows 10 from now on, and we're gonna keep iterating on it. Well, there goes that fucking idea, because that's not that's not the case anymore. I think I'm not going to be a mod pretty soon. What did you? Why? Windows XP was the best. 80% of gamers run Windows 10. About 60% of office hardware runs Windows 10, and many servers run Windows 10. Yeah, it's going to be an issue, especially these upgrade requirements, like needing a TPM chip and stuff, is so ridiculous. It's going to cripple a lot of things. Linux, I would hope. Can anyone else see the red dot on his forehead? Red dot on my forehead. I get sniped. Windows 11 is Windows 10 with another theme. Yeah, and slower. It's got a bunch of security bloat on it that slows down your computer. That's the main difference, is that they just lowered your frames. Anyways, let's take a look at a quick video that actually goes into some of the specifications of what's going on here.
Victory. Anyhow, guys, with all that out of the way, Windows 10, at least for the highest performance CPUs out there at the moment, the 9950X3D and the 9800X3D, it's still performing better with this OS. And I didn't really tune anything in particular with Windows 10. I do some basic things on there, but I think in the BIOS, the main thing I do is turn off all these extra security features that you need in order to run Windows 11. Even though Windows 11, you can get it to run without these features nowadays by doing a custom Rufus install, which I think is what AMD gave me right here. It still doesn't take away from the fact that Windows 11 at the end of the day is inferior to Windows 10 when it comes to gaming and giving you out the best FPS possible. Now, outside of this testing here today, I did try some other things like turning game mode on and off, and that didn't really make any difference at all, because when it came to gaming, I was doing these benchmarks with just the game open, and there was no extra processes running in the background or anything that would cause issues. Like, for instance, maybe if I had music open in the background, or if I had Discord and all these other applications in the background, maybe then game mode might make a difference. But we're just testing out raw gaming numbers here, and game mode did not make a difference on versus off.
And yeah, I didn't want to watch this whole video. I just wanted to use that little clip right there. If you want to watch the full video, you can go check it out. Let me put a link. Hello? Hello? It's broken.
Anyhow, guys, with all that out of the way,
that's crazy.
Windows.
Apparently you can't open a new
So this will
tab
be my final.
if you are in full screen. Interesting. You learn something new every day. I guess the technology isn't quite there yet.
Victory. Anyhow,
so yeah, you can check out this video. It's from Tech Yes City. It's called Windows 10 versus 11, and it's specifically talking about the 9950 X3D and the 9800 X3D, which are the two newest I almost said Intel. Oh my gosh. It's the two newest AMD processors. Yeah, that's why I used a photo of one right here. So this is specifically on this hardware, like the newest end hardware. Your results may vary depending on what hardware you choose, but overall, it's not a good sign when you're buying something and the platform you're buying it for is going to make it 20% slower. And I'm sure that this is going to carry over into gaming workspaces as well, right? So something to think about if you are a Windows 11 user and you want to buy a brand new 9950 X3D, you're going to have a significantly lower performance than you're expecting, like significantly lower. And I think that's a big issue for consumers, especially when people are like, oh, which one's the better? Like, a lot of times when it comes to AMD and Intel, you're probably choosing the processor that's like 2% faster, right? Like a 2% change is like a big deal, right? Well, what about 20%? Like, and I'm not sure if this is affecting Intel based machines as well. Like I said, the only source we have is about these specific drives or drives CPUs. I want to know, how much is this? A 9950 X3D. So for the low price of, oh wow, dude, I want one of these so bad. For the low price of $541 on sale from $649, you too can have 20% less performance. Dang, that's incredible though. 16 cores, 32 threads. I'm unironically going to be buying one of these at some point. Like, I'm getting to that point where I'm getting ready to upgrade computers, and this looks so nice. It's so nice. Oh, I love AMD. I've been an AMD fanboy from the beginning. Hello? Can I skip?
Victory.
Hello? There we go. All right. Our win for the day is the worst game ever is back. I know this is a really weird win. I think it's just a win for me because this is a trip down memory lane. So Steam is being graced with the return of the acclaimed worst game ever of all time. Might I add. If you don't know what game this is, it's called Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. Some people either put this game as the worst or E.T. the Extraterrestrial for the Atari 2600, I think. Kind of close. I think E.T. was better though. To be completely honest, E.T. was like, it was a bad game, but it was a game. it existed. Big Rigs Over the Road Racing is like, Big Rigs Over the Road Racing is literally less finished than Drift and Drive. To give you a perspective of how bad this game is. And Drift and Drive isn't a bad game, but at least you can like drift around, you can hit some things, you can get a score, and then you can, turn it off and jerk off. But Big Rigs Over the Road Racing, there is no victory other than your winner, and there's no loss. There's no way to lose. It's genuinely unfinished. I like how the other two devs on Drift and Drive are like, damn, that's crazy. Like they already, like, to put into perspective, like, because we all know exactly how finished this game is. So if it was less finished than that, that would be like a week ago. Like, take the game a week ago and then release it on Steam, and that's what you have here. But this is a win because it's honestly just a little piece of like history, and I think it's something that people look back on fondly. The new release, though, will change nothing from the original and still retain all of the same bugs and the infamous "Your Winner" completion screen, as seen here. This is what it looks like when you win, but there is not really like any winning, and you also can't lose. And it just says "Your Winner." And I photoshopped this, and for my other game, Only Higher, I actually used this as like a little meme. I do plan on replacing it, but that was just a fun little fact. Anyways, let's take a look at a video.
What's up, everybody? It's Critical, and I'm playing a game called Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. I'm commentating this while I'm playing, so let's get this shit started. 4 cars, or not cars, 4 big-ass trucks. I'm gonna go with the Sunrise, because it has that carrier on the back. 5 tracks. Alright, big selection. Let's go with Forgotten Road 1, even though there's only 1 in total. No need to really specify the 1, but why not? Let's race. Now, I've heard a lot
this is
about
Voice Critical.
this game.
I remember watching this video when it first came out.
So
that's
I'm
how
not
long
really
I've been subscribed to
too
him.
much out of it. My tank was running on empty, so I grabbed myself some hash browns. I just devoured them, so I'm ready to
You're
tackle
old.
any challenge
You just
that
saw
awaits
the
me in this
computer I
game.
used growing up.
Alright, let's get this shit started. We're ready.
Can you say something?
Alright, well, I'm off to a good start.
She doesn't
I'm
want to talk.
pushing 50. Well, I'm actually above 50 now. Wow. Isn't this fucking magical? I've fallen through a bridge. Oh, and I'm just fine. That's terrific.
Yeah, the
This
frames are
is
awful.
unbelievable. Alright, well, I kind of see where this game is going. Oh, now, where am I? What the fuck is this place? Did I just drive right through a house and a tree? Did I just drive through a house and a tree?
There's
I
no
did.
collision
Holy
whatsoever
shit.
in
I
this
just
game.
killed an entire family inside of that house.
That's what I
And
mean
then
when I
go
say
and
it's a
shit
less
on
finished
nature.
than
That's
Drift and
terrific.
Drive.
Now I
Because if
can't
your
even go
game
through
has
the gate.
colliders, then
I'm
you've
reversing
made a
this
more
bitch.
finished
Can't
game.
even fucking get there. What the I'm at like 20 miles an hour. What the hell is going on? Holy shit!
Also, if you go in reverse, you
it's
go
like
light speed.
Back to the Future. I'm about to fucking go back in time in this fucking game. You know, getting this game for Christmas.
It literally, the
would be
speed dial
worse
goes
than getting coal
around.
wrapped in horseradish, covered in mucus of a fucking
It
mountain
literally,
lion.
it just goes in a circle.
I don't want to play this game anymore. I'd rather shit out of my hand, lick the crusty residue off of my fingertips, and then make hand paintings and hieroglyphics out of that shit. Out of my own feces. I don't want to play this game anymore, but I'm determined now to finish this fucking game and explore what has never been explored before. And holy shit, I was at over 1,000 miles an hour and I just stopped on a dime. It's like the fucking Michelin Man just completely stopped the car and all the momentum it was carrying. What the fuck is going on with the grass? It looks like anal seepage popping up. That's unbelievable. This is just incredible. Now I'm scaling mountains. Alright. Well, we're exploring the new frontier.
Yeah, and that's I'm not gonna show the full video, but that's the game. That's the game. So that masterpiece is coming to Steam. I have no idea how much it's gonna be, but it would be crazy if they were to try to charge like $20. If they were to charge anything other than honestly free, charging anything for this is kind of criminal, I would say. But it's funny that it's coming back. Alright, our next story is Assassin's Creed Shadow launches. I don't know if you guys saw this. I mean, it's hard not to, but I don't know how much people care. But Assassin's Creed Shadows is on the market right now. You can play it right now. Is it good? Is it good? Is it actually, did it defy all odds? Yeah, it's not bad. It's actually not bad. Assassin's Creed Shadows is out. The response is not bad. While it is no secret that the future of Ubisoft hinges on the success of this game, I think that the odds of them retaining control a little bit longer is strong due to the success of the game. As you can see on Steam, there's 60,000 people playing it, with a peak of 60,000. So it's peaking right now. I don't know if it's. Let me check. This was a couple of days ago. Let me see if it's higher. Let's see, player count. No, it's down to 45,000 players, but that's not too bad. That's still good. I mean, it's good for like an indie game for sure. A AAA game, maybe not so much. But they did hit 2 million players in 2 days, which is twice as many as Split Fiction did, because we just celebrated Split Fiction hitting 1 million in 2 days. So, I mean, not bad. The odds of Ubisoft controlling their properties a little bit longer is strong. Their success has been hinging on this game. We already know Ubisoft is closing. Ubisoft won't be a company anymore after this game. This is their last hurrah, and they're going to make a new company, and it looks like there's a chance that they will still be able to run it. So, or at least the original board members or whatever corporate entity is running Ubisoft right now. Oh wow, there's a lot. Oh wait, hang on, I need to read some of these comments. Pre-ordered it already, lol, JK. I like how you're like, I pre-ordered it. Just kidding. Like as if someone's gonna beat you for doing that. Like, it's your money, bro. Give it time. Is it not banned in Japan? We're gonna get to that. They did make some changes that are meant to appease the Japanese audience. It also has a fucking battle pass. It's a single player game. That is also true. It has a battle pass, and you can also buy premium currency that will give you money in the game. It'll unlock the entire map. You can literally see like patrols and stuff. Like you can see like God mode basically if you pay enough money. There's heavy microtransactions in this game, and it's not like $20. It's like $60 microtransactions. So, I mean, to each their own. But it does seem like you can play the game without buying those things. You just won't get like all the extra perks, which is also, it's a single player game. So like, who are you trying to impress with that? Yeah, but the size of the companies between Split Fiction and Assassin's Creed is different. That is true. Split Fiction is still an indie game. Assassin's Creed is AAA. Fuck my life. What the fuck? God, the industry pisses me off. Kieran's having a crisis right now. Hey, if people pay for that, why not add it to D&D? He's like, no, never. No microtransactions. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, microtransactions are fine. I think if they're done in a way that's like meant to support the production, that's okay. You do you. I think it's a problem when there's like loot boxes and battle passes and like currency. The crazy thing about Assassin's Creed is there's like the keys or whatever that you buy, and you trade those for hollow light maps that you trade for extravagant Templar coins, and you trade those for super passes, and you trade the super passes for like there's like 100 different currencies that you have to like convert, and by the time you're desensitized to how much money you've put into the system, that's scammy. It's I mean, I already said it. It's literally a scam. They're trying to extract wealth from you. But if it's like, a $5 car pack or like, $10 map pack, that's fine. Those kind of things are totally fine. And it helps people support the development and allow developers to continuously add new models, new maps, maybe new songs, stuff like that. I like that. Wait, he's onto something. Charge for gas in game, please. Please. Oh my gosh. There's like literally you put money in and it's like a money counter. It's like a bar of money. So you have like $100 and you can see it like going down by cents. It's like 99, 80, or 98, 97, 96. You're just like watching your dollars burn away. That's actually a great idea. I shall refer to my video on it if you want to see my view on it. Put it down for like 5 minutes. Oh my god, I can't rant about them for hours. I'd rather have a Patreon type thing instead to show support. Sure. I think that's a good idea. I think when you're making an art form, it's important to not make... It's the problem with AAA developers is they see their audience as just consumers, as just people to try to get as much money from, and that's fine in like any other corporate business, right? Like if I'm selling apples, I'm trying to sell you as many apples as possible. Like I want to sell you 100 apples. Obviously you're going to buy as many apples as you need. You're not going to, there's nothing I can do to trick you into thinking, oh shit, I gotta buy 400 apples and then trade those in for exceedingly rare apples. Like that doesn't happen. And with games, it's very unique because, you know, a musician isn't going to sell you an album and then have parts of the album that are locked that you have to pay more money for. Maybe they will in the future, but generally speaking, when it comes to art, you want to sell somebody the art and then give them the option to support you to make more in a way that isn't forceful or tricking you in another word. And Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft as a whole and EA and all these other big AAA studios really struggle with that idea because they're just thinking in terms of shareholders and returning value to those shareholders. And from a business standpoint, I don't blame them. That's how business works. But they don't understand that art is not business. It's completely different. When you're making an art form, you have to focus on the art form first and then focus on money later. Anyways, continuing with this story, we're going to break down Assassin's Creed Shadows. We're going to talk about, is it good? Is it worth the money? Is it worth the $70 price tag plus microtransactions? No. Straight up, no. I'm not going to buy it. Is it bad, though? Is the game itself bad? If you didn't have to pay a single dollar for it, if you were just objectively looking at it, how good is it? Well, based on Metacritic, you would think the average user hates it. 5.6, let's round that up to a 6, right? The critics, 81, let's round that down to an 8. So, users are giving it a 6, critics are giving it an 8. Kind of a disparaging ratio, right? So, what can we glean from this? Well, personally, I'm usually kind of in the middle. I usually think that when there are two sides of an extreme, the truth is usually in the middle. So, I would say that this game is a 7 out of 10. Speaking as someone who's never played it, is never going to play it, I have watched at least 3 or 4 hours of gameplay at this point, and I'm pretty well versed in what's going on. I will say that the game excels in areas like graphics, in areas like music, and the cutscenes look great. They look phenomenal. The cinematography is really good. It's very artistically done. The way the music swells with the emotion of the piece, like it's great. It's very good on those fronts. However, that's not what you play a game for. Like, it's part of it. It's definitely a big part of it. But in areas like the story and the gameplay and the characters, it's kind of mid. It's not bad. It's not genuinely bad. Like, it's not cringy. It's not amazing either. It's just kind of in the middle. And I think with that, I would give it like a 7. Like, it's a gorgeous game with a very mid story, and characters that you won't care about. And the gameplay, it's very recycled. It's not going to feel new to you at all. It's not going to feel cool. Like, when Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and Brotherhood came out, everything felt cool. Like, no one had played a game where you could scale buildings and then jump down and, like, stab someone through the neck. Like, that's never been done before. And then people, when they were playing it, they felt like they were playing something new and fresh gameplay-wise. And in this game, it's already been done, you know, however many times that they've done it with the Assassin's Creed franchise. And that's okay. The gameplay was serviceable. There's nothing wrong with making the same thing there. But I really think that they should have done better with the story. The story starts with Yasuke as a slave. and he meets Oda of Japan, and Oda's like, "Damn, my boy, you ought to be a samurai. You seem tight as hell." And then it cuts, and you're a samurai now, and you're just beating the shit out of people. And it feels undeserved. It feels lazy, and it really feels like they're trying very hardly to get you interested in it and hooked immediately, and then try to like feed you the character's story later, which is not a good method. It doesn't work. I would rather play Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. I mean, that's another thing, is like in the world of like Ronin games and like samurai games, there's a lot to choose from, and Assassin's Creed is nowhere near the top. So if you just need a new thing to play, you really like this franchise, then you'll like this. I genuinely think there's a lot of people that are going to like this game. But I also don't think that, as for me personally, as someone who's not necessarily a fan of the series anymore and doesn't want to spend $70 on a game, $70 plus on a game, it doesn't capture my attention. So overall, mid, very mid. I think 7 out of 10 is like a good, like mid range. A lot of people think 7 out of 10 is bad or it's like too good. A lot of people are like, it needs to be a 5. A 5 would be a fail. Like a 5 would be so low. A 7 is like a C. Like it's a serviceable game. They made something. It works. It doesn't seem very buggy. 7. Yeah, 7. Anyways, let's talk about the day one patch. So a lot of Japanese people were very upset about the very strange inclusion of the ability to desecrate shrines. I don't know why they did this. I don't know why they thought it was necessary, but you used to be able to walk in, just destroy the inside of a shrine, which is a big no-no in Japan. It's actually extremely offensive. So it was so offensive that they started talking about it at the it was like some sort of like government hearing that they had about the game, and the prime minister himself like was delivered a report on like the offensiveness of the game. They were like, this is a problem, are we gonna do anything about it? Like, it's actually to that level. So Ubisoft quietly, they didn't even announce this, they just quietly rolled out a day one patch that removes the ability to desecrate shrines. So if you don't have the patch, then you can desecrate to your heart's content. This is one of their most controversial features and was a very good change to make. It's curious though why they still had it in the release of the game, with this feature to take out to, oh my gosh. It's curious why this was still in the game and they had to take it out later. I'm guessing that it was just too close to the release window and they had it locked in. I don't know. I think that's a really weird thing that I notice a lot, is like 6 months before the game releases, that's like the release state that it's in. So I don't know what goes on there. Anyways, like, yeah, it's a good change. Is it enough to appease the Japanese audience? I mean, sort of. Like, it's not going to be overtly offensive anymore, but it's still butchering a lot of the culture and not being very accurate. But at the same time, that's kind of what Assassin's Creed is. Like, are we gonna forget that in Assassin's Creed 2 you literally have Leonardo DiCaprio like just as your buddy, like making you things? Like, they completely butchered his history, but they did it in a way that made it like entertaining and unique. The reason they're getting a lot of pushback on this though is because they said that they're going to make it historically accurate and they're going to focus more on history, and then they made this fucking bullshit. People are like, this isn't right, and they were like, they kind of shot themselves in the foot there. If they were just going to say that they were going to make creative liberties, then no one would have this discussion. Anyways, let's move on to our next story. That's enough Assassin's Creed. I know no one really cares about it. Leonardo DiCaprio. Did I say Leonardo DiCaprio? I meant Da Vinci. Did I say DiCaprio? Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that even got into the papers in Japan. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's kind of a bad thing when you're making a game about a certain culture and the culture hates it. Anyways, there's a Split Fiction movie in the works. Hazelight has announced a new movie adaptation of Split Fiction. A media company known as Story Kitchen is currently working on pre-production before selling the rights to the highest bidder in Hollywood. crossing our fingers that this is going to Weinstein Productions. That would be awesome. No, I'm kidding. I think that's cool. It's interesting because this is something that was going on with the release of the game, so they didn't know that the game was going to be good by the time that they started working on the movie. They're just very lucky that it turned out to be good. So it's still going to be like a few years out. Pre-production can take a long time, so they're going to basically get the actors together, get a script written, choose locations to shoot in, and they're going to take all of that and then package it together and sell it to like a big production studio. So like, I don't know, like Disney could pick it up. Probably not. I don't think this is something Disney would want to touch, but things like that will happen, like Blumhouse or A24 or like any studio can pick it up from there. That would be cool to see. I haven't played the game myself, but I know that a lot of people like it. So, and it's a very narrative driven game, so it seems like it would fit normally. Honestly, the fact that they were working on this within the release of the game makes me think that they already wanted to do this. They probably were making the game and already thinking of how well it would transcribe onto the silver screen. Or maybe it's not even going to be a movie. Maybe it'll just end up being a show. Either way, I'm sure that they could see some sort of vision with it being a live action. Actually, we don't even know if it's going to be live action or not. I shouldn't speak too soon. It could be live action. It could be animated. I would probably guess live action. But who knows? I mean, if it was animated, I feel like you could just have the game developers do it at that point. You wouldn't need to hire a whole production studio. But maybe I'm also oversimplifying it. I know that it is very different to make an animated feature-length movie than it is to like make cutscenes in a game. Damn, you're having a stroke again. Oh my, stop with the stroke. I'm fine. Give it a second. Listen. Oh, can I show it? My heart rate's only 86. I'm okay. That's a normal resting heart rate, right? 104 minutes ago? It happens. For now. In the end, it's just a silent play, though. Could be. Or are you saying like the actual end of the game? Did you spoil the game for me? That's pretty messed up if you did. Anyways, moving on to the next slide. Twitch awards sent to the wrong person. So, French streamer Ponce received the Bleed Purple statue, an award that you get for reaching 5 million hours watched on Twitch. That was not meant for them. This was evident after seeing the name Daigo the Beast TV written on the award. Here's him reacting to it live. This happened all on his stream. And he's sitting there and he's like, wait, why does it say Daigo the Beast TV? That's what this is in English. He's a French streamer, so he's saying this in French. But I thought that was really funny. Yeah, Clarence heart rate is now sky high after the battle pass talk. Yeah, he's on what is it? ICU watch. Anyways, next slide. NetEase is being sued for $900 million. That's almost $1 billion for the people who can't count. Or I guess 90% of $1 billion. NetEase is handed a deserved $900 million lawsuit by the State of Decay co-developer Jeff Strain and his wife. More like Jeff Stroke, am I right? Anyways, they allege NetEase spread wow, I am having a stroke. I almost said international. They're spreading international rumors. They allege that NetEase spread intentional rumors to lower investment trusts that led to the closure of Crop Circle Games, which is a subsidiary of one of Jeff Strain's companies. And here's a quote from the article that I'm referencing here. It was It was a subsidiary of Pitania Media, I think. I can't say the name. Anyways, here's a quote from the article where it says, the Strains claim that their relationship with NetEase became increasingly hostile when they requested assurances that the Chinese company was in compliance with U.S. foreign investment laws. NetEase resisted cooperation with the request because doing so would purportedly require revealing ties between the company's executives and the Chinese Communist Party. Yeesh. And because of this, the relationship started souring, and it would appear that NetEase intentionally sabotaged their company in order to push them out of the space. Just because they don't want to admit that they're communist. I mean, who could blame them? So I thought that was a crazy story. Kind of gross, to be honest. But then again, I'm a little bit biased, I'm American myself. I don't really like communism. I know a lot of us like it nowadays. I still think it's bad. I know, crazy take in 2025. It's not good. So it's interesting seeing companies try to hide their involvement with an authoritarian regime. To put this into perspective, it would be like if Apple, crushed one of their like manufacturers. Like, okay, let's say there's a manufacturer that makes Apple phones, right? And they were like, hey, Apple, we have these new laws in Thailand. Maybe this is a Thai-based company that says we have to make sure that you don't have child labor from North Korea. We can't do business with anybody who does that. So can you just give us a report that shows that you don't use North Korean child labor? And they go, no. In fact, I actually found a rat in one of my phones, and I told all of my friends, and none of them are going to use you for manufacturing again. Goodbye. Good day. That's essentially what happened. It's essentially, they're just like, simply like, can you prove to us that you're acting in accordance of the law? It's like, no, but I can ruin your reputation for asking such a thing. Is State of Decay 3 safe from this? I have no clue, because so this is a subsidiary, Crop Circle Games, of the other company, Prytania Media. So the main company is still open, so I'm sure State of Decay is probably fine. But it hurt. It certainly hurt the studio. It hurts when everybody thinks that you have bad business practices when all you were trying to do is stay in accordance of the law. So that's kind of a crazy situation. This is no surprise to me. I mean, NetEase is not a good company. They just fired every American dev that they had as soon as they made one of the most successful hero shooters of all time. So, I mean, kind of deserved, honestly. I hope they pay it out, and I don't think that it'll even hurt them that much. So, moving on. Pokemon and Lego. The first ever Pokemon and Lego collab is finally happening, and it will be released in 2026. If you guys don't know, in the past, the Nintendo property had only made sets with the company Mega Constructs, aka Mega Bloks. Everyone knows it as like the bad version of Lego, the knockoff, the cheap ones. Which was really weird that they had a exclusive contract with Pokemon. I don't know how that ended up happening, but it's been years. It's been like 10 or 15 years at least where they've been only making Pokemon stuff, or only Pokemon like Lego sets were being produced by the off-brand, which is strange. So fans are excited to finally see what these sets will be like from the Lego brand. I never liked Mega Bloks. I guess they changed it to Mega Constructs, but I never liked them. So I think this is kind of hype. This is from a Twitter video that they posted. This is pretty much it. This is just a screenshot. It's like lightning and like lights up the logos a little bit, and then it goes black. And you can see Pikachu's tail as a Lego in the corner. And that's all we know about it. So that's kind of cool. I think that this will be fun. I think this is a cool thing. Next up, I think this is it. Yep, our pro tip of the day is to make some friends. All you lonely little incels out there, go outside, touch some grass, and make some friends. Why? Well, working alone has its perks. We all know that. But working with others is always much more efficient. Do your best and start networking and surrounding yourself with people who can teach you skills that you either don't know already or have room for improvement with. I think this is really important, like, especially in a space like this. One thing that we're very fortunate to have is a community here. And a lot of us, like Clarent and Mo and I, have been able to link up, and also Ghost. And honestly, even Stefan's helped out. Like, all of us are able to increase each other's skills by asking questions, by giving feedback, by showing new methods. Like these things are invaluable. And I would like to encourage people to continue doing that, and not just on Twitch, but like in your real life. Like go to a gaming expo, go to your local hardware store, or like not hardware but like computer hardware. Don't go to Home Depot and try to figure out like if there are any computer programmers there. But yeah, like get out, join some groups, and meet some people. That's literally, especially for like careers, that's how you build a career nowadays. You're not going to build a career by just applying and not having any references. You have to meet people. Not only will you see a personal benefit, but you'll also get practice working with people, which is a skill required for any industry. And that's also a really important thing. You could be the best coder in the world, but if you don't know how to work with a team, then you're pretty much useless to any company. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Being able to work within a team and cooperate with somebody, like, for example, I don't really use Git. Like, I've never really used, like, Git repositories. So when I work with people, it's really important that I learn how to use those things. So, yeah, just encouraging you guys to get out there and make some friends. I met a community manager from Nintendo. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, meeting people like that can lead you down roads that you wouldn't have available to you otherwise. Anyways, let's take a look at our community highlight for the day. And this was going to Mo. Mo successfully adds multiplayer to Drift and Drive. So this is a screenshot from his latest stream last Friday. And here you can see two different games running, two different instances, and they're able to control both oh my gosh, the hiccups are attacking me. You can control them both simultaneously, which is super cool. Yeah, but it's expensive for me. No, it's not. I'm sure. I mean, there's definitely places that you can go for free that don't cost money. He rammed me off a ramp. See, that's sick. Being able to play with two cars and smash them into each other. I mean, that's what we're all looking for, right? Just looking for someone to smash. But yeah, good job, Mo. Because what you guys don't know is Mo's been working really hard on just trying to learn networking in general. So this happening is a big deal. Him being able to load two different players with two different cars into the same scene and have them control separately is so much harder than you probably really understand. So good job, Mo. You really deserve it. Anyways, that's it. So I hope everybody on YouTube enjoyed this one. I think this one's going to be a little bit shorter. We had a pretty good stream. But yeah, that's it. So we don't have any more slides. Okay, I forgot I added this. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Bye, YouTube. Bye.